Round number 11 of the Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck Series takes us to Iowa Speedway for the AlecDaffin48 169 drivers. Still gearing up as it stands. Practice is still in motion, but we'll have the race soon. It is going to be more of practice than qualifying before the main event begins, and it's going to be 140 laps around the track based in Newton, Iowa. Ticker's going to be on your screen, and as it stands, Eric Heater is a top man on the board with a 23.204. I'm your host for tonight's event. I am David Kreutz. I hope you enjoy tonight's presentation as we get things kicked off in style. The Alpha Tauri number 28 right up there on the top of your screen has 7 more minutes to dial in and get everything set up before qualifying the fastest 2 laps and the most important 2 laps at a track like Iowa, one of the most tricky tracks. Of course, it is no Pocono tricky triangle, but it is one of those tracks where it's harder to pass at. The long game is more important than anything else, and if you can master that, you can master any track. So tonight, these guys up in front say Eric Heater has a lot of pace going into this one. Oh, so close to going back-to-back as of recent. Jordan Coote, a multi-time winner this year, and Carter Casey in that number 1 machine. These are the drivers you want to look out for in a night like this. Those that can put it on for a long time. Persistence will be key. You don't want to be a hot lap hero here. You want to make sure you're there in the long run, and with a checkered flag falls, well, everyone knows that's where you want to be, up in front. Right now, Vinny Tigger going to be in 5th. It looks like a debut in Blake Witkowski in that number 23 machine as it goes up behind the Jack Daniels machine. Indeed, a Chevy Silverado, yet another debut. Great to see as new faces are going to clash with the dominators of the season. Aaron Brown on the move. A heartbreaker at Watkins Glen had his race destroyed before the green flag fell out. Jordan Coote, his wheel disconnected, and as a result, he hit a dead stop immediately, and that took out the 8 machine right behind him. The motor blew like then and there, but now Aaron Brown looking to run it back and get some going for the Miller's number 8 machine. His teammate and Alec Daffin there as well. Your sponsor for tonight's race joined just a few minutes ago, and right now is 9th on the board. The number 48 machine is getting himself accustomed to this track once again. Daffin ran in the Integrity Ignite series. We ran this combination. He was a dominator there in the Xfinity machines. These trucks, they do drive different. So with that being said, you want to make sure you understand them the same way you understand the Xfinity machines. For Alec Daffin, he finished 4th in that race, was up in the top 3 all night long. Tonight, he seems to be able to do more of the same. Of course, he has to dial it in just a bit more, but he's only 2/10 off your fastest man at the moment. And it's going to be a major hit for Alec Daffin. My oh my, in practice he goes for a barrel roll and shades a Talladega, which just finished in the Xfinity series a few minutes ago. Alec Daffin goes for a wild ride and is now on pit road, actually despawns from pit road at that moment. Kyle Jackson on his way in that number 96, one of the fresh faces in this league. Only been around for a few weeks, but he has proven to be one of those guys that's consistent race in, race out, as it looks like Garrett Featon goes on the Legends Oval and despawns then and there. Luke Peters on his way in that number 4. His teammate Michael Rosero and of course himself, they're both forces to be reckoned with in this league, and tonight they hope to do more of the same as they're right behind the Jordan Parker machine. Parker gonna spin out right there, and it looks like Luke Peters gonna hit the tire barrier to reset his car just a bit quicker. 4 minutes and 38 seconds, now going to be less than that on the practice charts, and every driver getting their final few laps in on the board. Eric Heater has a total of 64 practice laps so far, and Carter Casey has a total of 50. As it stands, though, it looks like Jordan Parker has taken the most in 93, almost the entire race distance he's taken up in practice, and he's been off the track for quite a while now. Blake Witkowski's taken 81 as he looks to get himself dialed in 7th place at the moment. Only about 1,500ths off, around now 15/10ths off of your leading man. The Witkowski machine was in the top 5 early in practice, but drivers are joining in more and more and look to put an end to that success. Blake's still going at it right now, kicking as hard as he can. He's only about 38 thousandths off of Vinny Tigner and very close to the top 5 battle here when it comes to lap time. Jordan Coote's going to be on his way, now down on pit road as the number 65 of Jordan Parker passes by again. For Aqua Post tonight, you'll see his onboard camera all night long. Now, of course, as we've seen on this channel before, a track dependent on the long run. So the longer we go, the more often you'll see that camera, as Jordan has given us his access to that sim rig that he has. Most sim racing channels, they only have the, of course, view of the drivers inside the virtual cockpit, but how about we show you the real one later in the night? Stick around for that. We'd love to have you there when we get to it, but right now we're still getting dialed in here in practice as Alec Daffin looks to go around. The Shaw Racing machine is one tire all the way inside the track. He'll have to reset and get it all sorted out before he goes back out for yet another hot lap run. And Luke Peters right now, the fastest man on the board, going to usurp Eric Heater. Now that number 4 machine up on top with only 20 laps of practice. But as you can see, he got it all messed up that time through. He knows something, though, when it comes down to those hot laps. He might just be the fastest man on the track, though. Eric Heater now looks to deny him as he gets back out, blinks once or twice. So we're going to look on from Kyle Jackson's rearview mirror and see how quickly that 28 catches up. Only took about 3 seconds. Jackson spins on pit road, and Eric Heater going to be on his way as it stands. We can see that aerial shot as beautiful as ever here in Iowa, and the 28 back on the move. Let's ride on board, and hopefully he won't blink out. This is Eric Heater in the 28 Alpha Tauri machine. And looking inside the virtual cockpit, take it outside to the track. The 28 goes down to the apex about midway through when the Iowa 2 word mark comes up. He gets it a bit bobbled out, and he goes for a spin in his own right. And it looks like a few drivers coming right there with them. Vinny Tigner, one of which on the front stretch. Take a full lap on board with Tigner here. Gets in the wall. No big deal. Goes right down to the most inner seam, and he's going to get right in that innermost seam and put the exit back out once again. Down the backstretch, the iowaspeedway.com backstretch it is. Gets it into the middle groove and slowly works his way down to that apex. Does not hit it though. He'll have to get a wider release to get a bit more momentum off of the corner. That time through, Tigner runs a 23.707 and gets himself set up for yet another. Right now going for some long run speed here because he knows that at a track like Iowa, cautions are not to be expected all too much, and the field we have of 13 drivers set to be one clean race. We've seen strategy before, and it could be seen again as they go around. This time through, it's going to be Veton right there with the number 1 machine of Carter Casey side by side at the line with a minute and 10 seconds remaining. The 1 machine lets off. Now, Luke Peters, as it stands, is on pit road, but how about the man who's taking the most laps here in practice? And it looks like, coincidentally, he will be out for practice again. Jordan Parker in that 65. Notice he's doing. He knows what he's doing. That is for sure. It looks like it slipped off the tongue there, but right now, one thing that isn't slipping is his persistence. While he might be the 12th quickest guy out of 13, the 65 knows the more practice he can get in the long run is the better. Sometimes you don't have the pace. You just have to go out there with grit and determination. The 65, putting 99 laps down, knows that he has a chance for an easy top 10, top 15, no matter what. Trying to up his game in the point standings all night long. That's the goal for him, as it looks like a good majority of the championship contenders are not here tonight. Matthew Weeks, the guy on the bubble, is not here, so that's going to put someone else on that final spot in the playoffs here. Keep an eye out for that as the night goes on. 11 seconds remain. Carter Casey on a long run, going to try to chase down the 99 right in front of Vinny Tigner, who's on a short run, but it's not going to be for any use as the man on the top of the board here in practice is Luke Peters, and that will end this practice session. On to our 5 minutes of hot lap heroics. This is qualifying for the ever-coveted pole position here in the Alec Daffin 48 169 at Iowa Speedway. And Iowa, the track is clear and it is silent. Let's see who's going to be the first man onto the track. It looks like it will be Daffin. How about that? And Alec gets a move on here off of pit road, just like that. 4 minutes and 45. Now it's going to be a bit less than that, both of which it'll be down to the 4 minute and 40 second range. And we saw it down to 45. Goes even further down. Time is ticking a little bit quicker than we can keep a handle on. So these guys, as the drivers, know that time is of the essence and they will have to use it to their advantage. The Shaw Racing machine goes up high and he will start qualifying with his first time lap of the night. The first man to reach that start finish line, it's Alec Daffin. Not too far behind though, it's Jordan Coons. Take a look back up to the Alec Daffin machine. He gets it right up to the wall here, puts that power down the exit. It is essential. And if you look on board with the 48, he takes the high seam, putting some momentum in for the second lap as it comes around. This time by, he will be a provisional pole no matter what. what can that 00 do? We will find out as Daffin puts one lap in. It's going to be a 23.6. It's going to be Jordan Coots 1/10 faster, and now Alec puts that power down, and he's got it way quicker than before. Jordan Coots, though, not as quick. It looks like that momentum rolled off the high side is going to work to Alec's advantage, as Luke Peters right now looks to be doing the same thing. Jordan Coots still top man as he comes across the stripe, this time by AlecDaffin due to usurp him. It's going to be a 23.345 compared to Jordan Coots' 23.351. Gets it done, but Luke Peters looks to be about as quick. Will it be enough? It looks like not enough. It's going to be a 23.421. Tigner goes up into fourth as Peters takes third. Vinny going to be there with a 23.55, but it looks like he put a lot of power into that first lap. He's now much slower. He'll have to have a miraculous exit out of turn 4. What can you do this time by? It looks like he won't be quick enough. Fit the best he's going to do now, as it's going to be Jordan Coots on his way, and Jordan Parker backs it down, and that will be it. Kyle Jackson spins on his final lap. That's going to be it as well. Dylan Basin has just joined the session. He'll be man number 14 on the night as Aaron Brown makes it through, and that number 8 machine has yet to take a timed lap. Carter Casey's put one time lap down. This will be the one that counts, though, as it looks like he got an invalidation of the first. This is the second and the final, and Casey takes it into 6th as Eric Heater goes into 2nd, and Garrett Beaton is your pole sitter by 5,000ths of a second. Unbelievable. That 7 machine has some speed here as Lane Graves goes into 10th, and Aaron Brown going to be in that number 8 machine, still going through for his first lap. As it stands, unlikely that Dylan Basin will put a timed lap in. He was the fastest man in practice at Watkins Glen, did not put a lap down in qualifying or the race, but tonight things could change, and Basin could make a run through the field, a run of legend, if he does get it through to the checkered flag in 140 laps time. Kendrick goes to the top of the board. No, he does not. Drops down 10. Recalculation. That's going to be a 23.621, and that puts him way back in the field. 12 of 13 drivers have taken timed laps thus far. That's going to be Aaron Brown still going here. Lane Graves, however, is provisional pole by now 75 thousandths of a second. Times are changing here in Iowa, and now Ryan Kendrick takes it up into the 7th spot, and that will be all she wrote. The 77 backs it in, and so does Aaron Brown. And with that being said, it does not appear any other driver we have time to take a timed lap in qualifying indeed, so that means we'll get your timing screen for the grid up just a bit earlier. Aaron Brown depopulates the track, and it is clear to get your starting grid on its way, as Dylan Basin is not yet loaded into the session. Qualifying is all but over at this point. Dylan Basin not enough time to make one more run, so it's going to be all up to the man at the top of the board to get it done here from Iowa. Without further ado, let's get into it this time by. This is your starting grid for the AlecDaffin48 169 at Iowa. Let's get right through. First, it's going to be your man on pole position, and that will be Lane Graves. 23.243 for the man of that 13 machine. Top of the board for B3 Designs. It's going to be Indeed as Garrett Veaton right beside him in that 2nd spot with a 23.318 for the Chevy Silverado. That is that number 7. Eric Heater representing the Toyotas gets it done with his Tundra. 3rd of the board inside row number 2 with a 23.323. And right beside him going to be the race sponsor of tonight's event, AlecDaffin, and the Chevy Silverado. Getting right there in 4th for Shaw Racing Products. 23.345 in position number 4. Going to be rounding at the top 5, though, the Ford F-150 of Jordan Coots as he gets it done in that 5th spot. Inside row number 3, going to be a 23.351 as Aaron Brown, right there in his Chevy Silverado, a teammate for Shaw Racing, has himself in 6th. Outside row number 3, going to be 23.358, and Ryan Kendrick going to put himself into 7th in the 77 machine, and that's going to be a 23.359 right beside the F-150 of Luke Peters, and that number 4, 8th spot with a 23.420 as Carter Casey going to be in 9th, 23.478. Vinny Tigner going to be there in that 10th spot as well. In the top 10, it's going to be 2 Chevy teammates right there with them as Warren is on its way. Going to be a 23.519 for the final man in the top 10 outside of row number 5. The remainder of the grid going to go as follows. Jordan Parker going to be able to be in that 11th spot just outside of your top 10 with a 23.764. flat, and Blake Witkowski, a debutant in tonight's event. He's going to be able to put himself there with his number 23 Chevy Silverado, a 23.782 to start outside of row number 6 in that 12th position. Going to be Kyle Jackson in the 13th spot, though. Not bad at all. Jackson just getting warmed up here. A new driver as well as Witkowski, and that 96 right up there in the rookie class, 23.928 for his Chevy Silverado. And how about the man who's fastest at Watkins Glen in practice, looking to be fastest in tonight's race, just joined the session. Dylan Basin in the 009 has himself 14th and the shotgun position here in the qualifying, and that's going to be your starting grid for tonight's event, the AlecDaffin48 169 here at Iowa. And it looks like warm-up already on the way, and Aaron Brown is not moving. However, certain drivers are, including Jordan Coots, and Coots is on the move with 3 minutes remaining here in warm-up. And warm-up right now for a smaller field than usual means that you're going to have a lot more space to get exactly what you want out of the truck. In some circumstances, like what we saw early in the season, like Daytona and Auto Club, you'd have over 40 drivers competing for the same space in that second practice. You get caught up in an incident, caught up in someone else's mess, and you wouldn't be able to get that testing information that you crucially needed for your race. But tonight, the track is much more spread out, so it's going to be much easier to get exactly what you need out of your truck. Be it a Chevy, a Ford, or a Toyota, does not matter what you got. It's going to be all about what you got as a driver and not what's under the hood. Luke Peters going to be top man on the board. A 10th off is Jordan Coots. Eric Heater right now going to be third on the way. And how about that? The number 28 is here to stay as the now AlphaTauri race winner machine is back on the track. Garrett Veaton going to be fourth on the move, and Blake Witkowski will be fifth as Jordan Parker is there in sixth. Tell you what, we got a bit of time, so if we can, let's get a word with the number 13 of Lane Graves and see if we can get something out of that driver who gets into the pole position. As it stands, though, not much to be seen, so we'll get a word from a driver out in the front of the field. Well, most of these drivers have a shot to be up there, so how do we get the man who sponsors tonight's event? And that will be the driver of the 48. Alec Daffin, as it stands, has not yet gone into the track for second practice, but he's here tonight and looking to get it done in a race that he sponsors. Alec Daffin, how do you feel going into tonight's event here in Iowa?
Pretty good. I feel like we should have qualified second or third, but let's go start in top 5 here. And obviously, we didn't get the finish well here last season, but we were fast. So if we can bring the same speed and have a little bit of luck, I think we'll definitely have a shot at it.
And looking to get it done. It seems like more of these races have been all about attrition and patience. So at the moment, the 48 machine looking to capitalize on perhaps some smaller field sizes for better results. We've seen you up front as of recent. A podium at Watkins Glen. Can you back up the success here at the Oval?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think it's also we have a smaller field, and I think it's going to be more so a pit strategy race because I just had a league race here a couple days ago, and it went caution-free 150 laps. There's some pit strategy involved, so hopefully it's the same tonight, and we can kind of get spread out and see what we got. Absolutely. Now, I'll tell you what, Alec, I'm pretty sure I was on the booth for that race. Integrity Ignite Series took it to Iowa very recently. Yeah, that was a fun race. I should have had a podium there, but still a good run, so hopefully we can replicate that.
Looking to back up the success that he's proven to have here in Iowa. But the truck's, of course, a different animal. How's it been compared to the Xfinity machines we saw earlier in the week?
Definitely a lot more on through all the time. I mean, it's the same track. Obviously, it's still a short track, so you're still braking and all that. It's not a lot different compared to, like, a mile and a half track, but, I mean, definitely a lot more momentum-based. So you got to make sure you hit your marks and don't screw up right over. Everybody's going to be on you, especially on a restart, so just got to be a little more precise, I guess.
And the heat will be on. Got to be really precise in these trucks as always. And Alec Daffin up in this field looking to get it done here in Iowa. Any final thoughts before the grid gets on its way?
Let's go get him.
And that we hope to see Alec Daffin on the move here in the AlecDaffin48 169 here in Iowa. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. Daffin going to be on his way, and it will be Lane Graves, your pole sitter, who leads them through as Luke Peters is the fastest man here in a second practice. Nikki Hicks Jr. at Fisher Studios, thank you for lighting up the chat here tonight. We're just getting things started. Let's go number 65, as the number 65 does in fact represent a proud partner of this league. That's going to be Fisher Studios, and of course Jordan Parker of Fisher Studios, the owner of that YouTube channel. Got to give him some love. Hoping to hit 300 subscribers this month. We'd love to see it, as we'd love to see, of course, the FTN channel hit 1,913. As we thank you immensely for your support, and we are just getting started. 140 laps here in Iowa to get things done. The AlecDaffin169 at Iowa going to get on its way, and drivers getting loaded up into the grid. Dylan Basin, the last of which is in fact here tonight, so keep an eye out for that number 04 machine. A driver contending in the Road to Pro Series. We've seen him in the NR Cup Series, in IDK player competition before, NR Night in America driver. He has experience all over the iRacing scene, and he's here to prove it once again. Basin at the final position in the field will ride shotgun in tonight's event, and he seems to be calm and collected. No movement on that wheel right now. Looking at every driver, nothing going on. Hand movement is marginal, if any, and everyone is stoic as ever. A bit of movement on Aaron Brown right now. Might be a little jittery after what happened last week. He's got to be heads up, as hopefully he'll avoid something from Jordan Kuntz this time by. They start next to each other and not in front and behind one another. Alec Daffin waiting it out. He's fourth on the grid. Eric Heater right there as well. Garrett Veaton, however, has not yet showed up. Carter Casey and Ryan Kendrick are in a similar situation. You can see a few open holes here in the grid, but we'll get going in about a minute's time to get this race on the way. In Iowa Speedway, 150 laps, no cautions in the Integrity Ignite Series, and Alec Daffin had a great run going, just did not pan out at the tail end of it. He was up front in the podium all night long, chasing victory with guys like Alan Dobbs on a one-stop strategy compared to Daffin and many others being on the two-stopper. So Matthew Thornworth got the win. It was a very close battle there. Tonight we might see yet another. These NASCAR machines, trucks, Cup, Xfinity, all proved to be fast and furious here at Iowa Speedway, and tonight we hope to see no different. 140 laps to get it done, and the Lane Graves machine will grab a gear as soon as every driver is ready, and that they appear to be. So we'll get it going here and now. Just in a moment, the iRacing official pace car will get on its way, and your two final laps of pacing will be in the books. And as we say just that, the pace car gets on the move, and Lane Graves leads them off. The field is now getting all set up. Lane Graves leads them. Garrett Veaton with a shock qualifying run makes it up to second. And how about that for the kid in that Chevy Silverado, looking for something in proximity to Racing's camp. He has been up front tonight, of course, in qualifying, looks to back it up in the race. We've seen him very recently. Charlotte, I believe the first time we saw him around in this league, did not pan out with a lot of incidents midway through that event, but tonight, that could be a bit of a change. It could be a new leaf for that number 7. Starting up front usually leads to finishing up front. As long as he can avoid some incidents early on, I'm certain he'll be up there when it comes to the strategy. So without further ado, Garrett Veaton, welcome up front to the front row for the first time this season. Eric Heater, Alec Daffin going to be second row, and Daffin is still chasing a victory. Graves has a victory in the books, so does Eric Heater. Right now, Veaton and Daffin do not, and Aaron Brown, all the same, does not as well. But Jordan Kuntz does, and he's on the inside line. Looks to be winner's row for first, third, and fifth on the inside. And then Ryan Kendrick, non-proven commodity Kendrick is, but he has been quick, and tonight he might just be able to make it happen once again. That 77 for Otterbox proven to be tough as ever, and right now as they come across one more pace lap, that number 77 might be one of those looking to charge up very early, but nothing is for sure. Right now, it's all not a given. It will be taken as the 13 for B3 Designs leads it through. No teammates tonight. He will carry the flag as per usual. Let's get into it this time by the iRacing official pace car will drop in here and now. It's going to be Lane Graves and Garrett Veaton who lead them through for the first lap of the AlecDaffin48 169 here at Iowa. Let's go racing from Newton. And there we have it. How about it? The number 13 machine leads the way. Eric Heater there in second as we see a big three-wide battle. Going to be right there with AlecDaffin in the mix in the middle. And right now, no driver is giving. It's going to be the Luke Peters machine with the edge and the advantage. It is clear there. It's going to be all about the 48 up on the high side, but he's losing spots as we speak. So it looks like that strategy is not panning out as we expected. The man who started in the 4th position now dropping down into 6th. As they're all shuffling big, and it's going to be side by side between teammates here. Going to be Aaron Brown and AlecDaffin. Right aboard Aaron Brown here. You can see this is inside the cockpit. He's got one right beside him, though, right in frame. That's going to be Ryan Kendrick trying to make it happen to the inside of that. He does, cruising right by that 77 is, and now Aaron Brown having to think twice about what's going on inside that truck. Certainly a lot of time, but he does want to keep it up in front. Track position is more important than just about anything else in the equation so far. So Lane Graves has all that and then some. He's in first. No competition thus far. He's kept it there. Nice, smooth, and clean. As Eric Heater having a bit of an internet issue once again, and we saw him disconnect because of his internet very early in the going in practice tonight. It could happen again. Here, always a fast driver though, so the Heater machine looking to keep it in control, as right now his computer might be burning up, as he certainly does have some connection issues with tonight's server. However, still going to be there as Luke Peters takes it down to the inside line. That will be for position number 3. Eric Heater to the right beside him, though, side by side off the stripe, and now Jordan Coots is in the equation. There'll be double file for the lead. Lane Graves leads the lap, but it's going to be Jordan Coots leading into turn number 1. It looks like that 00 picks up the pace, and just like that, a new race leader here from Iowa. And a great jump for the man in that 00 machine. How about it for Jordan Coots? Gets it done only 6 laps in. Now, Iowa is, of course, a track position circuit, but it looks like getting it done with a classic crossover move. Looking off the back of the proximity racing machine, it's going to be position number 1 for proximity. Garrett Veaton falls down into 6th. Not bad at all. But right now, the veteran of the two is the one who leads the way overall. 7 in out of 140, goes down to the inside line, takes the apex just like the number 13, and it's going to be all about consistency right now as they come into the stripe once again. First 4 drivers are single file, so is AlecDaffin as Veaton fights double file now with the Aaron Brown machine, and it looks like Carter Casey is looking for more as well. Will Carter get it? I don't believe that Carter will, so it looks like they'll have to keep it going, and that car searching for ground. He goes down to the inside line and trying to make a crossover maneuver. It could happen here, it could happen now, and it looks like he will have to wait for later. A good run for Garrett Veaton off the exit that time by Ryan Kendrick. Now goes out of the inside line to make a pursuit for position number 7. Down to the inside line, he's going to try to keep it going. He goes way up high, now falls back down 1-2 spots. He'll be in 9th as is, and Dylan Basin chasing him down as we speak. Basin of the 04 machine goes down to the inside line, has it all the way on the apron, gets that push-off exit, but will it be enough? The run going to be stronger for Kendrick, and no, it won't be. The number 009 has to wait another day. However, that's the closest he has been to the top 9 all night long. 10 laps in, he's already up to the 10th spot here. He's gotten by Witkowski, Tigner, Jackson, and Jordan Parker. As it stands, Jordan Parker, the last man on the track, and being the last driver on the circuit, he has a lot of room to keep going at it. Certainly right now off the pace on the long run. Got him done in the top 11 in qualifying, 11th on that list, but right now in the race has not panned out, so we'll see what he can do as it all goes on. Double foul though, going to be Eric Heater and AlecDaffin. Once again, Eric Heater going to blink major, but AlecDaffin stays right there with him. He is not phased at all, and the 48 goes down to the inside line to try to make it happen. Double file, 2 rows deep. It's going to be Garrett Veaton there in position number 7 to Ryan Kendrick in the 77 right behind him. Daffin holds on and keeps it honest between himself and that 28. Luke Peters once again looking to get that spot. He had him before, but will he get him again? It's not for certain as the number 4 rolls down the backstretch. And this time through, the 77 goes way up high, and Luke Peters falls down into the 5th spot once again. He was real close to getting it done beforehand, but it looks like as it stands, that number 4 machine is back outside of the podium. Now 13 laps in, all about strategy here in Iowa, so these guys don't have to worry about immediate position just yet, but you certainly want to keep yourself up in contention. The draft, it is not major here. If you have a bubble of drivers, you'll be in a much safer position, and right now all but 1, now 2 drivers are within that bubble. Kyle Jackson falling off just a bit. He's in 13th. Jordan Parker is in 14th here, and it's going to be all about that number 5 spot for Luke Peters, dead in the middle. Eric Keeter there in 4th. They're going to file the 48 and the 28 as they go down through the back stretch. Once again, Eric Keeter up high here, and AlecDaffin has the immediate advantage, but it's going to be a run up on the high side that Eric Keeter uses to his advantage. Once more, it's going to be a crossover move for the blinking man in that number 28, and he gets position number 3. Once again, Eric Keeter going to see himself in. It's going to be Luke Peters trying to see himself out of this pack and up in front of it, as it's going to be all about Aaron Brown now down to the inside. It will be the Mobile 1 machine trying to defend as Dylan Basin now claws up into the 7th spot. And take a look at this on the Dylan Basin cam. Once again, trying to complete that last to first challenge, that time through the fastest man on the track. Time and time again he's been. It was a 24.063 in that 7th spot for the 009. The best lap for the leader, well, it was the last lap through for him in this run. 24.172. That is his best throughout the last few laps. Gets it done, as it's going to be, once again, a time and scoring that tells the story. Going to be a 24.1 again, and 176 compared to Dylan Basin's 107. So Basin is faster, but tire degradation is coming into play, and lap after lap, ever driving getting just a bit slower as now that we side by side with Aaron Brown and Eric Heater. Heater keeps it high and then goes low, does it once again. He gets all that momentum. No, he's going to get very loose, and he's going to go down to the inside line. Loose he is. He gets it going, but Eric Heater had that thing all out of sorts. Gets it saved, but he's going to be way back in the pack now in the 11th, chased down by Witkowski. Unbelievable. Let's take a look at what just happened here. I can't believe what we just saw. 20 seconds back. Heater gets loose, almost hits the number 8. He does hit Dylan Basin, though, and they'll have to get back on the way. It's going to be a 28 with some damage. He blinks out immediately thereafter, and Basin still in the running. Take a look at that number 009 machine. He's got front end damage. That is a certainty, but it looks like he's still up there on pace. We'll see if he's able to keep it going. That time through, Basin is in 6th, but he does lose due to that incident as he comes across the stripe, this time by a valid comparison, a 24.3 for Jordan Coots and a 24.2 for Basin. He is still the fastest man on the track. Actually, as a matter of fact, that was a 24.184 after recalculation, so he is still as quick as ever. He actually lost less time than the leaders up in front with clean air than he did with that damage, so good for him. The air is being circulated just right despite that issue, and he'll keep it driving without much hesitation. Jordan Coots 00 machine has it out in front. Lane Graves still holding on, but not holding back as he goes down to the inside line, this time by to keep on fighting. 21 laps in, and he goes down and in for the maneuver. Once again, they'll be side by side for the lead. Jordan Coots up high, still has himself there for a while, and he'll take it. It's going to be 00 leading that lap this time through. How about him? Now Aaron Brown fighting for 4th on that number 4 machine. Goes down for the spot. Can he take it? It's not a given, but the double file once again, door by door, panel by panel. These guys up in front trying to run away from Basin, but that time through, it looks like Dylan actually lost a bit of time. Not sure if he's losing it due to the damage right now, or if he just lost it due to some dirty air. It could have been a mistake. That is not certain, but that number 04 machine, who had all the pace before, now seems to be losing a bit for time. He's about dead even with the leaders as it stands, and with that damage, that is impressive, but not impressive enough for the victory, the way that things are going. Jordan Coots with the clean air runs a 4.12, and Lane Graves, about dead even, runs a 4.19 in the decimals, but right now they're second off the all-time best in the session, which was a 23.3. So keep that in mind as the night goes on. These tires are wearing down and wearing down fast. It is blatant now that the number 7 machine of Garrett Veaton is now ahead of Ryan Kendrick. What was a scuffle in the back of the field is becoming more and more a clear as day single file train. It's going to be one man going way up high. That is Ryan Kendrick. Garrett Veaton stays down low, and while his teammate is the leader, the number 7 logs laps and gets himself more experience time after time as he tries to gain in on Dylan Basin. Basin might be frying his stuff up as is. 6th on the board, has made it through almost half the field, actually more than half the field, but it seems like it's been a bit more troublesome getting by the next few drivers as he goes out of the inside line. Once again, Aaron Brown is in some trouble here. The Miller's 8 machine is in a very precarious position as that time through Dylan Basin once again faster than your leader. So it looks like about 6 drivers in real contention to get that distance down on your man out in front, as it looks like Jordan Parker in a bit of trouble in that 65. And how about for the first time tonight, we take a look at our onboard camera shot courtesy of the Jordan Parker machine and Fisher Studios. Get that interview camera right up on the frame, and it is that 65 that you can see clear as day. He's right up there, and he is keeping that wheel as steady as he can, having a bit of trouble holding together that number 65, but the AP, it looks like the Aquapulse machine is still in the going. The rookie in that 65, now in 14th spot, looking to get a bit more out of it. Maybe a caution with bailing out or some alternate strategy, but the number 65 logging laps 19 seconds off of your leading man in that number 00, and that's Jordan Parker on his way as it stands indeed. Now we can take a further examination of it in the in-car shot that we've got, so take a look at this. The driver of the 65 machine will take a virtual shot inside the camera to accompany that. That is physically inside the room, of course, where that 65 drives. On board, inside that cockpit, the 65 right there in frame, and it is noticeable that he's got something going on here. Has it straight, but the power is not being put down 110% here. It looks like patience is more important and more crucial to that number 65 driver, as he almost smacks the wall there, and thankfully for his sake keeps it going. Jordan Parker having a bit of trouble here in Iowa, but keeps it straight. Nonetheless, a straight wheel, especially important as the racing gets into it, but he's getting closer and closer to the wall time after time, so that remains to be seen if he can hold it steady. Back on board of leaders, well, back out the board. Jordan Kuntz is the leading man. Lane Graves there in second as Jordan Parker does go up high, and he will let your leaders by just like that. Jordan Kuntz gets almost up into your leader, and it's going to be Jordan Kuntz and Jordan Parker getting side by side. How about that? The 65 almost up into the 00, and Jordan Kuntz almost up into the former leader of Lane Graves. Carter Casey comes down pit road this time by. Could be your first strategic stop. 31 through out of 140. It's going to be the first man down for some tires and fuel. Carter Casey comes down and in as Jordan Kuntz, your leading man, almost makes contact with the lap machine. Parker stays up high, lets them all right by, and now he seems to be out of harm's way. But that was oh so close. He was up high, didn't have nowhere to go, but Jordan Kuntz came up naturally. That was his racing line. What more could either of those drivers do? Not sure, as they keep it going, thankfully without an incident. That could have been close. Nicky Hicks Jr., that was indeed a precarious position, as the first man one lap down is not Jordan Parker. It is Carter Casey as he comes through pit road and back on his way. That's going to be a 31-lap run. They had that time through, so this would be about a 4-stop, 5-stop race, the way that things are going. How about that? And we saw a 2-stop race in the Xfinity machines. Tonight seems to be determined by fuel that much more intense. Now, it seems like there is a limit inside the fuel cap, of course, that goes alongside the green flag racing we've been seeing. So these runs will be shorter and shorter. Carter Casey, first man in, 34 laps in. That time through is going to be Jordan Kuntz, your leading man, with Lane Graves in second, Alec Daffin there in third, as Luke Peters now fights once more as Peters goes up high. Aaron Brown has a bit going there, down low, but it's going to be almost 3 wide that time through as Dylan Basin gets the run all the way down to the apex. They were almost 3 on frame, but Dylan Basin still has a long way to go if he wants to get up to the top of the mountain here. He still is in 6th, starting 14th and last on tonight's event. Coming through once again, gets a bit loose that time, and while Dylan Basin does have leader pace, it seems like he's just mired back in the pack to a point where it would not matter all too much. That damage very early on is what set him apart from the pack. Eric here is still driving as hard as he can. A side-by-side battle between Vinny Tigner and Ryan Kendrick right in front of him could set him off of his course. Yeah, like AlecDaffin48 169 is on the move with the double file battle right in front, and Eric Heater right in the midst of it. The 99 does not have the edge, though. Ryan Kendrick gets it done that time, and Kendrick looking for his best finish this season. A driver of that number 77 looking for a top 10 once more as Vinny Tigner crawls right up on him in the double file once again. Dead even battle it's been for a few laps here, a bit more than what we've been watching, and once more that number 99 seems to find a way to keep himself dead even. How about it? Side by side, right down the backstretch. Kendrick has the momentum, but he does not have the optimal turn in point. So he'll go up high and dig deep as it looks like the 99 comes right back up. Kendrick tries to get through. It's going to be Vinny Tigger with a big whiplash moment there. He almost gets it out of sorts, but he does keep it going nice and easy. Great job by both drivers. The car control, it is immense as we ride on board with Eric Heater. And down the back, Heater almost playing God when it comes to the momentum and the runs, as now Vinny Tigner has a clear visible edge on your screen. But wait just a moment, Ryan Kendrick pops right back up and keeps it right there, side by side into turn number 1. Again, Heater blinks just a moment there. No big deal for him. He's kept it going, as right now, watching up with Vinny Tigner. That number 28, a bit unpredictable in the mirror. He gets right up to him. Back bumper. Their lane shots at one another. And that number 99 goes down and in, knowing that he's got to trust everything he's got, even if it is a blinking driver in the back. That time through, Kendrick has the momentum, and Tigner cannot block Eric Heater. Too much of a wild card to take a chance on. And the closest battle in this race, it is ferocious, as now Eric Heater looks to get one spot out of the two battling in front. They're double filed down the back this time through, 40 laps in, out of 140, and down to the inside. It seems like Vinny Tigner made it easily, but he's losing more and more pace, tired himself out with that battle up in front. Now Kendrick has one spot, and so does Eric Heater, a 2-for-1 in just about one full lap. Tigner falls down into 10th as Blake Wachowski's there, just about behind the frame. It's going to be Wachowski in that number 23 in position number 11 as Kyle Jackson gains on him 4/10 of a second away, and he's getting much faster. As a matter of fact, it looks like Wachowski has a bit of damage. Take a close-up drone shot here, and you can see that 23 machine is in a bad shape, and it's affecting big. Almost gets on the wall this time by, and Kyle Jackson is getting closer and closer. Turns 1 and 2 are his strong suit. So take a look at this as we see going all the way into that seam. It looks like Wachowski running a bit of the higher seam, trying to get some more momentum, but it does not work time after time. Kyle Jackson is that much quicker and takes his Chevy down to the inside line to make that pass, and he almost makes it clearly, but is not decided just yet. At the stripe, Jackson does not have the momentum. He has to keep it going. He's about 1/10 of a second off this time through. He is as close as he's been all night long, though. And now a seam below the momentum. He has it. He puts the power down with a wider exit through, and Wachowski just can't do the same. Blake in 11th right now has been able to hold on to that spot, but it seems like Kyle Jackson has something going much better through the earlier portion of the track. So keep an eye out for that right now. It seems like the battle's gotten a bit calmer as the leading man has had this one for quite a while. Lane Graves, are posted or not, out in front. It's Jordan Kuntz, the leading man here in Iowa, and he's had a good grip on it for quite a while. Down on the inside line, it is Jordan Kuntz still at the top spot. At 4/10 back is Graves, with Daffin in the 3rd position. And playing that long game indeed. Every driver looking for a lot more out of the car as the night goes on. You don't want to burn up your car in the very first segment of the race. That seems to be the racer's code there as Aaron Brown goes down to the inside line. A very aggressive pit stop. Almost got into the infield barrier there, but he's going to be good to go. Aaron Brown is, and he will keep it's going. Brown going to be on his way to pit road. He'll be down in 10th as it stands. Jordan Parker going to be in as well, and it looks like that 65 machine comes in for his first stop. He's one lap down without a pit stop, so he'll go 2 down as it stands. Not great news for him, but he keeps it going nonetheless, as it seems like 2 more drivers come in, 47 laps in out of 140. On that strategy, it would be more of a 2-3 stop race immediately. However, it seems like Carter Casey looking to get a much longer run on the final stretch to get himself in the lead and perhaps counteract the tire degradation. That time by, your leader of Jordan Kuntz ran a 24.632, and the 23.34 that he ran beforehand was about a half second and then some better. It was a 1.5 seconds overall, quicker than the most recent time around. The double file, it's not going to be seen, but the 00 is the man who has had this one nice and clean. He's your leading man so far after 48 laps, and things have not been set to change just yet. How about this? Graves going to be in 2nd. Alec Daffin there in 3rd. Dylan Basin going to be in 4th now. And it seems like Basin clawing his way up, and he has been on a tear all night long. Just about dead even with a man in position number 1. So he has that leading pace despite the damage. We'll see what it does about that damage as he comes into pit road. This time through, a yellow flag is not to be expected, but it seems like that number 04 machine on your frame is still pushing like it's nothing. Luke Peters, though, still in that vicinity, not all out of contention. The number 4 machine still looking to push back and get himself into the frame. So don't slouch on that number 4. Garrett Wheaton going to be in 6th right now, and he is still there in tow as Jordan Parker comes out of pit road, this time by the 65, back on the move, and he'll come out right behind the driver in that 7 and right in front of Eric Heater there in position number 7, making 50 laps in this time by Jordan Kuntz comes down pit road, and you don't see him on the frame just yet, but he's going to be right there with Garrett Wheaton. 2 men down. It's going to be a few more to go, as now Lane Graves is the man at the top of the board with Alec Daffin 2nd and Dylan Basin in 3rd. We'll see if the undercut works or if the overcut is the way to go. Drivers going in earlier than their rivals seems to be the trend so far. Jordan Kuntz does the Lane Graves this time by, and both of them are locked into the playoffs, so they can risk whatever they want, and they will be out of winning contention for the championship in 2 months' time. 11 rounds in, more than halfway through. They are locked into the final stretch, so they're in good standing, but it might be even better if they can get this victory. Right now, Graves in that top spot, and Alec Daffin finds himself in the catbird seat, but only for now, as currently 7 drivers are on the lead lap. Vinny Tickner last, of which comes down pit road this time by Luke Peters there, as is Blake Witkowski, now the last man. He's in 5th at the moment, and he's on his 52nd lap as Lane Graves is on his 53rd. Almost a lap down. Blake Witkowski is at the moment, so he's in a bit of trouble. Jeopardy he seems to be in. He'll have to come down to pit road sometime soon today. Well, yes, but not that time by, not immediately, as Lane Graves still leads the way, 53 through out of 140. Dylan Basin going to be in 2nd right now, as he has 1 man down at his inside line. That is Jordan Parker, and Parker is on new tires and should be able to run away, and that is what he tries to do, but Basin gets that run off the exit and beats the man on new tires as Alec Daffin comes down pit road this time through, lets Basin free, and now the 48 machine knows what he wants to be on pit road with a new set of Goodyear rubber, as Graves keeps him 1 lap down. Now, don't let the timing and scoring deceive you. Every driver up in the top 10 is still in winning contention here, but as it stands, if you can get the 23 machine, it will be only 3 drivers on the lead lap for a very brief moment in time in this event, and that is going to be Lane Graves now has all but the podium on the lead lap. It's going to be the podium up front on that lead lap, and everyone else 1 lap down at the very minimum. Kyle Jackson 2 laps down, and Jordan Parker 5 laps down, meaning that Dylan Basin coming out of pit road this time by might take him 1 down as well. It's going to be Ryan Kendrick and Dylan Basin on the way, and it could be 1 man on the lead lap for the first time in this season under green. And this time by, Lane Graves looking to make it happen. He will stay out on the track. Kendrick coming in, Dylan Basin already in, and just like that, unbelievable. Lane Graves is the only driver on the lead lap right now. It is not permanent, but that is the way it is, and your timing and scoring screen, it is not a glitch. That is the truth. Lane Graves is the leading man, and he's out of his own lap right now, setting the pace with force. I can't believe it. Lane Graves has the field by 1 full lap. Jordan Kuntz going to be back on his way. Aaron Brown fighting with him immediately thereafter, but it's going to be hard to see that. As you can see, the leader has these guys down by quite a lot. Lane Graves has played the long game masterfully and looks to go for 1 more pit stop, stretching as long as he can, and they're side by side for 2nd now. Jordan Kuntz up on the high side, Aaron Brown down low, and Brown taking it down as Lane Graves comes in this time by 40 seconds on pit road, the estimated time. So I'm not sure where Lane's going to come out, as Jordan Kuntz now on the lead lap here is back in potential contention. And Lane Graves this time through knows he wants. He wants that 4 tire set, of course, with a new fuel in that tank. So as he comes down and into that pole position stall, he has a much longer run in. Jordan Kuntz going to be coming off the front stretch this time by. Going to be a very close call. I'm not sure if this was the right one, as Jordan Kuntz going to come right in. It's going to be Lane Graves on his way in quite a while. He's falling back big here, and it looks like Graves going to be on his way in 6th, 7th, now looks to be 8th spot. Graves from the lead, 1 lap ahead of the field, is now in 9th, and it looks like it is only getting worse from there. Every driver on the same cycle, but now Graves has many more to go right through. Newer tires might pay off in the long run, but so far, looking at it from the lens of the race that we've seen at the moment, it is going to be troublesome for the driver of that number 13 to keep it going. The 00 machine, though, has himself a good run going indeed, as Jordan Kuntz back out in front with Aaron Brown there in second. Luke Peters going to be in third, and Carter Casey, Daffin now fighting big. Daffin gets the edge. Garrett Vegan going to be right there in sixth. Eric Heater now is in position number 7. Dylan Basin falls right back down into 8th, and what has been a promising run for him so far, what still is, but he's not up there fighting to do the first challenge all over again. It got him to the 3rd spot through that pit cycle, but now seems to be a bit further off. As it stands, the driver in that number 009 machine is a bit more to go through, as the closest battle on the racing circuit is between, well, lap machines. Going to be the driver in that number 7 of Garrett Vegan fighting with Carter Casey. They're not lap machines, as a matter of fact. It looks like they're not in frame just yet, but those drivers got double foul, avoiding one, and looks like Jordan Parker, the driver 3 laps down, is on the front stretch, as the leaders look to be right there with them. Last time we saw Jordan Parker right up with the leaders, it got a little dicey, but not dicey enough to cause major trouble. Aaron Brown, though, still going to be on his way. Kyle Jackson right there in tow, and the Jackson machine is fighting to keep himself on the lead lap. 1 lap down as is, and he is faster than Aaron Brown. But the question is he faster than Jordan Kuntz? That is not sure for anyone right now. It seems like it's all about the leader. The man on the top of the board is the quickest so far. Set for Garrett Vegan. He runs at 24.058 compared to Jordan Kuntz's 24.064. So there are some drivers quicker, and Dylan Basin makes him much quicker. He runs at 23.836, and Basin right now on that back bumper. It's getting real dicey here, as right on the front bumper of the Basin machine, you can see the number 7 machine is locating the front of the field, but right now it looks like Basin has located him, goes out of the inside line, thinks better of it, and it's going to be a crossover and a fake out here. Will it work? It must for the 009 to make it happen, and that it almost does immediately. The run off the backstretch gets unclear, and Basin, with a typical playbook crossover, gets it done. And that was a move as textbook as it gets. Right now, though, Jordan Kuntz, the top man on the board, has nothing to worry about. 66 laps in, almost halfway through the race, and he has been in the lead for just about half of it. Unbelievable. How about we take a lap on board with Jordan Kuntz in that 00? And lap 67 140, the man at the top of the board, Jordan Kuntz, is there in first. And we have received word from our FTF1 driver, a driver in the IR-1 iRacing League for David Courts Autosport. Andrew Schulte will make the US 500 tonight. Unbelievable. The 33rd and final qualifier. The driver who comes in with no practice and a producer for FDN in its infancy, Andrew Schulte, makes it into the FTF Michigan US 500. How about that? Jordan Kuntz, your leading man, back to the focus here on FDN. The race, it looks like another race for the FDN folks, going to be on Twitch later on tonight. Luke Peters right now driving as hard as he can on Kyle Jackson. Jackson goes up high. AlecDaffin has himself in fourth, and AlecDaffin not playing games with Kyle Jackson there. 69 laps in, a nice run for every driver, but it seems like that number 48 machine has a bit more on the mind than a nice run. He wants something great, and right now he is looking to take it. 70 laps in out of 140. Cross flags will wave this time by, and the number 48 right now chasing down third. Was side by side there with Jackson just a moment ago, but right now he is not in the running for that third spot. Aaron Brown, though, might be caught up to as 70 laps remain here in Iowa. How about this? Jordan Kuntz, though, going to be way ahead, 2 seconds ahead, as Luke Peters goes down to the inside for position number 2. Aaron Brown a bit slower than that time by, and you can see the number 4 has himself oh so close, and he's riding that seam on the high side and using it as a bit of a railroad, and he is in the middle of the train trying to send Aaron Brown back to the caboose here. He goes side by side for the first time in quite some time. 69 laps to go, and right now it's going to be the nice run that saves him. The 8 machine has himself a run down the back. The 4 machine, though, keeps himself down to the inside. It's going to be the 48 of AlecDaffin. right there in tow, and AlecDaffin gets real close to Aaron Brown this time through, and while he blinks, Aaron Brown knows that his teammate wants this one bad. Dylan Basin now up into 5th, gets through 2 drivers. Basin now sees a 3-wide battle for 2nd. The Ford machine up high, AlecDaffin down low, and Aaron Brown gets oh so close to making it happen. Down on the inside, 68 laps to go. It's going to be all about Aaron Brown in that number 8, making it happen. AlecDaffin now going to block him. It's teammates racing teammates, and they are rubbing quite hard. You could see Alec got way loose that time by, and it looked like Aaron Brown had to back out just a bit. How about it? Lane Graves going to be there in the 6th spot. Garrett Beaton going to be in 7th. And these guys up in front are now racing like it is the last lap. And we've just gotten past the halfway mark. And the aggression is already up. Jordan Kuhn's going to be in that 00 machine. How about it for the 1 machine in position? He's now 2.5 seconds up, but the battle for 2nd is getting furious. And Dylan Basin now side by side with Lane Graves. That's going to be a side by side battle. Look at him go. It's going to be the 13 trying to make it happen, stealing the show on new tires. Now, we said it seemed to be a bit of a dangerous position as they go 3 wide once again. Lane Graves on newer tires seems to be crawling his way right back up. 65 laps through, now Lane is in contention, but Dylan Basin has 4th, and he tries to get to the podium this time by. He now has that clean air in tow. 65 laps to go. Now Lane Graves goes down the inside once again. Aaron Brown going to have to go up high, and he will have to concede the position for the moment as they go through. It looks like now Graves in the top 5 for the first time in quite a while. Daffin there in 3rd. Luke Peters is in 2nd, and it looks like Aaron Brown holding on to what he has, but it does not seem he has all too much now. The 8 machine has fallen off the pace, and he'll have to wait till the next pit stop to catch up to a man like Lane Graves. Graves keeps everyone running as quick as they can. Carter Casey down pit road for his final stop of the night. I do believe he will try to stretch it for the remainder of this race. 78 laps in out of 140. Carter Casey comes down and in as the leaders fly right by pit road. Basin now in 4th, clawing down AlecDaffin, and watch off the rear end of Daffin for just a moment here. That 48 is a big pressure. Dylan Basin down to the inside, and just like that, Basin now on the podium, trying to complete the last of first challenge. AlecDaffin still right there with them. Going to be 62 laps to go to get it done, as the number 04 now in that position in tow, as Carter Casey comes right out of pit road. So does Kyle Jackson go right in. It's going to be now the 04 machine in 3rd. Luke Peters has to keep the pressure on himself now, as it seems like Basin is getting through everyone, even if he does not have the fastest of tires. Take a look on board with the number 4 machine as the battle is brewing right behind him. And now, side by side, Lane Graves is with the number 48 machine, but Luke Peters sees himself with a new contender. It's Dylan Basin right there behind him. 81 laps in out of 140, 60 laps to go, and Basin is looking for 2nd, and he is hounding the driver in that number 4. Lane Graves now going to be there in 4th. It seems like the decision that we thought was a long shot is working out quite well at the end of that day, and it seems like the day, while it might not be over, the night is young. These drivers are now pushing as they know the checkered flag is in sight. You need to go now, or you need to go, well, quite frankly, never. You got to put the pressure down on yourself to get it in, and the 04 machine goes up high, gonna get right to Luke Peters. They're gonna be 3 wide for a second, and now Basin looks to be the big loser. Not just 1, but 2 spots give it away. Just like that, he's gonna keep fighting now into the middle, using that seam for some momentum. There's still 3 coming to the front. It's going to be 1 man up in front, but they're 4 wide for the 2nd at the stripe. Luke Peters has the advantage, and it looks like there's still 3 for 3rd. Going to be Carter Casey fighting right there. It's going to be a lap machine in contention, and now that 04 machine has to keep himself honest. That number 1 is still fighting like it is nothing. He's not a lead lap right now. As a matter of fact, he's 2 laps down, as is out of contention, as this race has been all caution free, but the 04 machine gets messed up major. They slot him right out, and it's going to be all about getting himself right back in it. He clawed up this far. Can he claw through more? That remains to be seen for the man who was up as high as second from the 14th and final spot on the grid. He dives deep, and now looks like Basin, looking for that much more, is going to take it by force. Side by side, they're going to be double file for third. This time through, Graves blocks, but it looks like now the 04 machine knows what he needs to do to keep himself in contention. And as they slide through and through, the number 04 machine, it's going to be 009 on time and scoring, keeps himself in there. It's going to be Lane Graves and Luke Peters side by side. Graves down to the inside line here, and Luke Peters goes up high. Double file once again. Going to be Peters right off that bumper, using that momentum as a number 4 machine will hopefully, for his sake, choose another line. But this time through, he chooses to consolidate and take his adversary for face value. Down to the back stretch this time by Basin, tries to get an edge off the back. He has some momentum, but I don't believe it's going to be enough for a major run. Up high he goes once again. The 04 machine right there in frame, trying to be the MVP of tonight's event for the Lowe's MVPs Foundation, and it looks like right now he has Luke Peters. It's going to be back up the third for Dylan Basin. Can he get second? That remains to be seen as Lane Graves keeps it out in front. And now we've talked about road to pro drivers all night long. We mentioned Dylan Basin, one of which, well, Jordan Coots live on FTN on every other Thursday night is a driver inside the top 70 currently in the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying series, and he is in split 2 of every driver, contending over 900 of which have registered for a shot at the $300,000 in the Coke Series. Well, the fastest of which go up to those top splits, and Jordan Coots in a second highest of all of iRacing. So of the oval drivers in the trucks, he is one of the best and proves it time after time, warming his skills up every Saturday night, and tonight he has it by over 2 seconds. Lane Graves right now is stretching his second spot. It's going to be Dylan Basin there in third, and then going to be Luke Peters in fourth. AlecDaffin is in fifth. Aaron Brown going to be sixth, and every driver now a bit more spread out than before. AlecDaffin holds on to a chance at a podium here as he is in the train with Peters and Basin. However, it seems like Dylan Basin, once he gets away from someone, he gets away. He takes it to heart, and he wants that spot no matter what. He's going to be able to get away just a bit, about 0.3 of a second ahead of that Luke Peters machine. He's building more and more time, though, and needs to build a bit more if he wants to stab at Lane Graves once again. However, I believe Lane, with those newer tires, now has only one driver on the mind, and that is Jordan Coots and that 00. What was a far shot earlier on, it seemed to be a 1 in 100 chance. Well, the one is now 51 laps through it, make it 50, and Aaron Brown comes down to pit road this time by the first driver on cycle to make it to the pit road. And with Aaron Brown coming down to pit road, this time by that number 8 machine, signals perhaps the final pit stop of this event. Can they stretch it? Can they not? It is not for certain just yet. The 00 of Jordan Coots out in front with Lane Graves there in second. Sees that Dylan Basin still is hounding him, and they all have to hound one another down to pit road. This will be the money stop, whether you like it or not. Every driver up in front, well, they know it. If you mess this one up, well, quite frankly, there's nothing more that you can say or do about him. Dylan Basin is in third here. Lane Graves there in second, and you can see now these drivers beginning to consider just a bit what they will do to finish this race out. The 48 of Daffin holds on strong. He is there in fifth. Garrett Veeton going to be in sixth, and Luke Peters right now has himself right into the wall, and Daffin now goes for the spot. He's going to be right behind the podium in that fourth position. Alec now has the opportunity to get it done. How about that? Now Alec is on for the taking. The driver of that number 48 has it going nice and steady. Down to the inside line, it's going to be the fool right there with him, but Luke Peters has nothing more to say. Garrett Veeton get right there in position number 6, and it's going to be Eric Heater there in 7th. You can see the Heater trying to put down the heat here is just behind Veeton, but nothing has happened as the proximity racing machine has kept him out of proximity from passing. And that is the same for the veteran of the team, Jordan Coots, out in front in the first position. He's been there for over 50 laps. How about it? The 00 machine is still keeping him all steady, and he's now got himself going. It seems like it says, well, powered by nitro, and he's been on that power quite well all night long. Lane Graves is going to be there in second. Dylan Basin is in third. 48 machine of AlecDaffin is there in fourth, and Luke Peters there in fifth. And now every driver a bit more spread out. Aaron Brown 1 lap down as it stands, catching up to the Jordan Parker machine, and Jordan Parker still going on 45 laps through, and he will keep himself on the track as long as he can. And the number 0097 laps in has that race lead. And he's got it by a wide margin, 1.7 seconds. But right now, it seems like the driver of the 13 is, in fact, the fastest man on the board. The 13 machine of Lane Graves there in second has much more newer tires. It's almost like 8%. Well, you could say 8%, but it's 8 laps. Quite frankly, it might be a bit more than that. The percentage, it's going to be marginal, but a tenth a second, much quicker every lap. It means a lot more than you'd think. 98 through. Vinny Tigner comes out of pit road this time by 97 laps in. And you can see now Vinny Tigner holds on in that 99, the second man to come in on that cycle. Jordan Kuntz there in first, still has it steady, but Tigner, one of the first undercutters here. Aaron Brown was the first overall, the second of which is the driver in that number 99, and every driver beginning to consider what's going on as the 99 machine comes in. It's going to be Ryan Kendrick in the number 8 position, Eric Heater there in 7th, and Garrett Beaton is in 6th as Jordan Kuntz keeps himself honest. 42 laps to go here, and Lane Graves there in 2nd has himself a day. Luke Peters going to come down to pit road this time by. He's going to be right there with Tigner and Blake Witkowski. Witkowski 2 laps down as is as they come across the line next time by to make a lap 101. Jordan Kuntz still is there in position number 1, and it looks like Luke Peters falls down into 7th as Ryan Kendrick is there in 8th. How about Ryan Kendrick tonight? We said he's an unproven commodity in this league. Well, tonight it seems like he has kept it going nice and smooth. The 77, how has he had it happen? Well, quite frankly, it's all about that patience. Say that 10 times fast. It seems like tonight had it all with consistency. He has just let himself run the race that he wants to run, and it's came right to him. He's right there in 7th now as Daffin comes down to pit road, and it seems like Jordan Kuntz does as well. Your race leader is in, and now Lane Graves is the top man on the board with Vinny Tigner outrunning him on new tires. Now, Tigner, as it stands, one of the few drivers who would be a lap down naturally, I believe, as the 99 machine not running the best of races at the moment. That driver is in a bit of trouble when it comes to his long run pace. He's about a lap down overall. The new tires will bail him out for now, but Dylan Basin in 2nd knows that he cannot be bailed out from the start of the race. Starting at the 14th spot with no qualifying time, well, that is always a challenge. And while he has been able to bounce back quite nicely up in the podium naturally, the win is a bit far-fetched with such little time remaining on the charts. Garrett Beaton, knowing this as well, is still trying to fight as hard as he can, and the number 7 machine putting out the nitro in his own right on the side of the door panel. Well, he knows every position matters because every point matters, and as it stands, the points are coming down to the wire here in the playoffs table. It is after Gateway. These point standings are not as recent as we'd like them to be, but 2 rounds ago, these points came out, and not much has changed ever since. So take a quick look at this graphic. The drivers up in front, the usual suspects, Michael Rosero, Eric Heater, and drivers like Lane Graves, Jordan Kuntz, and Cody Webster are all locked in. But you can see guys in the bubble such as Kyle Jackson, Corey Rexford, Aaron Brown, and Garrett Beaton. Now tonight, Beaton, Brown, and Jackson are here. Mike Campbell, Matthew Weeks, and Corey Rexford are not. So it's going to be a big shift up from this point in the standings to today, as some drivers on that bubble are here and some drivers are not. So winners and losers from every battle, as one man goes down in, that's going to be Garrett Beaton, as a matter of fact. And right in front is going to be Jordan Parker, as Lane Graves keeps himself honest there in position number 1. It's going to be Beaton from 4th position on the board, falling way back down. And now we only have about 3 drivers up in front consecutively on those old tires. Going to be 4 when Beaton drops down. Ryan Kendrick, the last of which. From there on out, though, Dylan Basin comes down pit road, and Basin makes it in with Ryan. It looks like it's going to be Eric Heater there as well. And finally, that leaves Lane Graves on his way. One down, and once again, that's going to be the driver of that number 23 machine. No, it's not. It's going to be yet another driver, and that will be the Kyle Jackson machine, leaving Lane Graves out in front on his own. Ryan Kendrick still running, though, and Graves, as your leading driver, looks to play the long game once again. A 49-lap stint with 33 laps to go. He is more than clear to make it to the checkered flag when he comes down for his next stop. Now, for his sake, hopefully it's going to be very soon. He does not want to run out of fuel, but it seems like things are getting a bit dangerous on his end when it comes down to the fuel conservation. He'll have to come down very soon to make it to the checkered flag. Lane Graves top of the board with Ryan Kendrick there in second. It's only 2 drivers on the lead lap, and Kendrick is due to be put 1 lap down. Similar situation to before, but tonight it might not happen for a second time. Lightning caught in the bottle just once, and now drivers in the back of the pack, well, there's still one on the lead lap through the fuel cycle. Different from last time. Last time through, Lane Graves was the only driver on the lead lap, and tonight that is simply not the case. During pit cycle number 2, Kyle Jackson on his way. He's the last man on pit road at the moment, and it seems like Ryan Kendrick will be there very shortly. Aaron Brown 1 lap down. He's in third at the moment, despite the fact that it looks like one driver is going to cycle ahead. That will make him in 4th. When these two come down, he will be effectively in second. A bit of a mismatch here between these drivers, and Eric Heater in the 28 machine comes down pit road for his final pit stop in the night. Graves comes out as well. That's going to be Lane Graves, a lap number 111. Your race leader is down and in, and the driver of that 13 knows this is the money stop. Ryan Kendrick due to lead 1 lap on the night as he comes across the stripe. This time by, it might not happen. Lane Graves goes past the start-finish line, and now Ryan Kendrick is up in front. Eric Heater looks to disconnect on that note. Your first retiree, not due to damage or anything of the sort. The number 28 has an internet malfunction, and it looks like now he's back on the way. Looked at about 10 or 15 seconds of being off of the track, so not good, but he's still going, as right now, big battle form between AlecDaffin and Dylan Basin, side by side. The MV Pro machine is going to be the professional Dylan Basin keeping it going, and he is driving as hard as ever now in that pack, and he has himself a great opportunity to go at it one final time. Aaron Brown right there, so is Luke Peters. Jordan Kuntz is now off of pit road as the leader once more, with only a second and a half ahead is Ryan Kendrick. Kendrick coming down next time by, your race leader for the first time tonight, getting bonus points on his own quest for the championship. And tonight it appears that number 77 still has it rolling strong. 28 laps to go here in Iowa, and the driver in the 77 getting the driver to lead this one in a caution-free race thus far. How about it? The driver up in front, Kendrick there in first, Jordan Kuntz is in second, Dylan Basin there in third, and Daffin right now getting 3 wide with Luke Peters and Aaron Brown. They go at it once again as Ryan Kendrick comes down in, and Jordan Kuntz already passes by, and the big pack is going. Luke Peters there with Aaron Brown, and they're side by side once again. And it's going to be AlecDaffin down to the inside line once more. Luke Peters there settling the score in the 4th spot. Aaron Brown is in 5th. Luke Peters in 6th. Garrett Beaton going to be in 7th as Vinny Tigner holds on strong there in 8th. Carter Casey going to be 9th as Ryan Kendrick comes down and in. Kendrick going to be on his way for the 10th spot. Goes 1 lap down as now Jordan Kuntz getting a hustle by the 96 of Kyle Jackson. Dylan Basin going to be in 2nd, now far away from AlecDaffin, and Basin is on a 4-second quest with 6 lap younger tires. Is it enough? Maybe it is, maybe it is not. Nothing is a given here and now. This is the final stretch of this event, so if you want to come down to the decisions, well, you have to make them now, and Basin will have to push to see the checkered flag out in front. Let's find out if he can do it. This time by makes it 25, and Jordan Kuntz is losing time, and losing it not major, but the lap machine does definitely slow him down just a bit. Dylan Basin ran with damage all night long, and yet he is up there in the 2nd spot. Just goes to show how quick he is as a driver, night in, night out. So as they come down in once again, he seems to have that power going. 24 to go, 4.2 seconds between your top 2 drivers. And that time by, it looks like Jordan Kuntz ran a 24.122 compared to Dylan Basin's 23.989, and Basin, while quicker, is still quite far distance off, and now Jordan Kuntz getting further and further away from Kyle Jackson until Jackson closes in right there, sends it deep, does not work at all, but Dylan Basin going to be advantageous once again, dangerous position, but nothing comes out of it. Now with 23 laps to go, it all seems good for now. But with 23 laps to go, will be 22 next time by. And you know what that means. TrackCams22.com, the best cameras on iRacing, live on FTN. As always, we love using them as much as we hope you love seeing them. Let's crank it up. 22 to go, courtesy of TrackCams22.com. Link is in the description. Once again, TrackCams for Gormans, the best cameras on iRacing. And in the blink of an eye, only now 16 laps to go here in Iowa. And the AlecDaffin48 169 is coming down to the wire, and the driver of that 00 machine, well, quite frankly, he knows that he has been putting on a clinic so far, but Dylan Basin, the fastest man all night long, he has damage now and sees Lane Graves on newer tires go right by him. This is going to be a side-by-side battle for second, but it seems like the 13 has the edge on momentum. Down to the inside line, Graves going to be able to take it. Can he make it? It looks like this time he won't have to fake it, but he still is not yet cleared. Down to the inside once more, going to be 0-4 settling the score, but it looks like not settling in his favor. Lane Graves gets it there, and now going to be top man in that battle. Well, for the runner-up spot, Catbird's his, but it looks like Jordan Coots, 127 laps in, has a major advantage, and that might be insurmountable here in Iowa. Quite frankly, no other drivers will be able to make it within 1 second of him all night long, let alone getting through 3 seconds of a delay. So if it is going to happen, it would be unprecedented to see Jordan Coots go out in front of the field. It's going to be Lane Graves in second, then Dylan Basin in third, and Aaron Brown right now fighting as hard as he can between two lap machines. That's going to be Blake Witkowski and Garrett Veaton. And Aaron Brown, who had a bit of an alternate strategy in his own right, tried to make it happen for a longer run, has fallen back big. The 8 machine is now down to 7th of the 8 drivers on the lead lap. Vinny Tigner is the last of which, so the 8 now has sealed his fate, and now it's going to be Vinny Tigner trying to chase him back down as Blake Witkowski, 2 laps down, is right on him. 1 dozen to do it. It's going to be Jordan Coots, top man on the board, powered by Nitro all night long, and he's had himself a great run. Lane Graves, the title contender, is still in striking distance. Got by Dylan Basin, and now is clawing down lap after lap, and you got 0.4 of a second back that time by. That's another 3, and now it's within 2.5 seconds. It is push for Lane Graves, and right now going right by a lap machine like it is nothing. Carter Casey can do nothing about it, and now it looks like Eric Heater in the same predicament. Kyle Jackson right there And going through the swarm of drivers, it's the 13 machine of Lane Graves, and he's not going to make his grave here and now. There's no quit in this 13 operation. No driver has retired for this event. All 14 who began it are those who are on the track. So great to see, as right now the fastest man is the 13. Once again, it's been a duel between two of the best in this league all night long. The 13 machine of Lane Graves and 00 Jordan Kuntz are right there, but within one another. It's been like that all night long, and 10 laps to do it this time by. It's single digits from the remainder of this one. Make it 9. It's going to be all about what Lane Graves can do. He's about 2.5 seconds off. Jordan Kuntz comes down to backstretch. He's on his own frame. He is slower, but not slower by a major amount. Not much to be worried about unless Graves gets by Eric. Peter goes up high once again and going to try to get that barrel right off. He gets right through, gets that push of momentum, and it works in his favor once more. Makes up 0.3 of a second each and every lap. At that pace, he would get him by the last lap of this night, but it is not certain whether or not he can keep up that pace for the remaining 8 laps. Not a major distance to make up that pace, but it seems like if anything's going to go right, it could go through in the last 5, 4, even 3 laps, and that's what sets it all off. That time by Jordan Kuntz ran a 24.608. Graves ran a 24.354. He is scorching the pavement right now, and he is certainly showing he wants this win badly. But is it bad enough? We are not certain. As he comes through, still is quicker. Jordan Kuntz tries to make it happen, goes up high for a diamond arc this time by, gets a bit more on the inside, about a seam or so, and I'm not sure if it's going to be much this time. Jordan Kuntz ran a 5.95. Lane Graves ran a 4.21. He was faster, but not fast enough. He gains more on that first turn than anywhere else, and now 1.7 seconds off with 6 laps through. It is not close enough on that pace to make it through. What could be the saving grace, though, is the man up in front. Jordan Parker in that 65 goes down to the inside line, but he is not going to give up just yet. That 65 machine, let's ride aboard with him right now. Let's see that camera, as a matter of fact, because that is indeed something we can do. We've got the camera of Jordan Parker in his car, and of course, virtually and physically, Jordan Parker right now on your screen in that number 65 is going to be on frame. And you can see right now, Jordan Kuntz running up on him, 5 laps to go, and it's going to be an easy pass for that number 00 machine. And now Jordan Kuntz, well, actually, he's going to be able to get it through a lunge, and the 65 will just have to keep on digging. But right now, that spot is far from his, and the number 00 gets back out in front. Jordan Kuntz now has the lead with a total of 4 laps remaining here in Iowa, and that driver has no quit. He's being chased down and chased down hard, but tonight he still has the lead by 1.6 seconds. Lane Graves is there in second. He had the pace to catch up, but it seems like it has gone out the window. Not enough to get through and not enough to get by. Getting oh so close to that checkered flag. Both these drivers are, but right now Lane Graves might just be praying for it, as he might of course have thrown the towel up, but there is as always, another shot for everyone. There is always another lap to run and always another race to win. Tonight, of course, he wants this race win, but it might not happen. It ain't over until it's over, though. And quite frankly, the battle between Jordan and Lane, when it comes to Jordan Parker and Lane Graves, it is not over as well. They'll come to the line this time by and make it the white flag lap. 1 lap to go here in a caution-free event in Iowa. The second we've seen on FTN this week, and it could be the final lap without incident for Jordan Kuntz. 1.3 separate the drivers right now up in the top 2. And Graves goes through the backstretch. Right now, he'd have to go full send for any opportunity. He goes down to that final turn, but it looks like Jordan Kuntz, coming out of the turn number 4, goes back to victory lane, and one of the best in this league proves just that. Jordan Kuntz wins the AlecDaffin48 169 here at Iowa Speedway, and no driver retires all night long in a race of consistency, nutrition, and patience, and the 00 has the ace strategy to get it done. What a run, as Kuntz wins from the remainder of the field. And Jordan Kuntz comes down this time by. Stick around for interviews and race results here and now on FTN. We'd love to have you aboard for that, as Kuntz comes through slowly but surely, making his way to the front straightaway. And how about it? Every driver who started this race finishes. Jordan Kuntz wins by 1.3 seconds over Lane Graves in second spot. Going to be Dylan Basin there in third. He goes from 14th to third. Your hard charger with Alec Daffin in fourth spot, qualifying and finishing in said position. Going to be Luke Peters, final man in the top 5, qualified 8th, with Garrett Veaton falling down to 6th on an overall strong night for the 7 cam. Going to be Aaron Brown, number 7 machine, in position number 8 on the number. And it's going to be Vinny Tinger, 8th spot, the final man on the lead lap. The remainder of the field going to go as follows. Carter Casey qualifies and finishes 9th, 1 lap down. Ryan Kendrick, last man on the top, 10, 1 lap down. And then Eric Heater, 2 down with Blake Wachowski, 2 laps down as well. The 96 of Kyle Jackson, 3 laps down. And finally, Jordan Parker, our onboard driver, 14th and last, 9 laps down from 11th on the grid. And Jordan Kuntz has to outlast the lap machines, the strategy, and the pushes at the end to get it done here in Iowa. We'll have his interview, of course, in a moment, and we'll have his burnout uninterrupted on FTN. And Jordan Kuntz, how about this? Burns down the house and gets it done in Iowa. And Iowa, as always, the long runs are the key to success. And tonight, Jordan Kuntz, no slouch throughout all 140 green flag laps. How about this performance in the AlecDaffin48 169 here at Iowa Speedway, winning on the top of the board all night long?
It was a very nice race. I can officially say the storm is here. I am going to keep this form for the rest of the season and plan on dominating many more.
And it looks like a first performance when it comes to the domination category here. So great to see you're getting exactly what you want out of that truck tonight. So what really got you that success here? Because it seems like nobody on your level, no matter what they did.
I would like to say it's practice, but I didn't really do a lot. I did just get a new wheelbase, so I think it really helped with speed and definitely helped me with tire wear this race. Felt like I did the best ever at Iowa with tire wear, and just really managing the race, not trying to follow anybody else, just doing my own race and getting the undercut.
And running your own race to win it and having your own strategy to go along with it. Now, how was that strategy? Of course, we saw you ran about 40 laps on this final stint compared to Lane Graves chasing you with about 30 on his.
Well, I just wanted to try to split the race into thirds. Can't really quite split it evenly, so I just tried to make each stint about the same, and it worked to a treat.
And it worked as well as it possibly could, getting it done here in Iowa. And how about that? What a way to get it on top. Now, it looks like next run on the schedule going to be a much different track, much bigger track, 134 laps to get it done at Chicagoland. How do you feel going there next week?
Chicagoland, not really my best track, but I'm certainly going to give it my all. And yeah, hopefully another win if possible.
And hoping to get it done once again, Jordan Kuntz first on the board here in Iowa. Any final thoughts to lead this one off?
I'd like to thank everyone who supported me, everybody at Proximity Racing, my papa for all the help this weekend, for watching all of my races, and of course you for broadcasting these races every week.
And there we have it, Jordan Kuntz getting it done, a weekly contender, and this week's winner here in the AlecDaffin48 169 here in Iowa. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. Kuntz going to be back on his way, and Lane Graves tonight up front all night long, just a bit short, second on the board here in the B3 Designs machine. How do you feel after a long run at Iowa?
Well, I mean, my room's pretty warm. I forgot to turn my heater off, so yeah, not too good. The butt sweat's pretty bad right now. But the race, it was a good race. Green all the way, kind of what you wanted. Just, Jordan was a class of the field. As soon as he got past me from the first stand, I was trying to save my stuff. I just couldn't get back around him. Well, I was better than him. I just couldn't pass him. And then I got off sequence with him, and I just ran out of laps. And just not enough time.
And not enough time, it appeared to be. It looked like a bit of a different strategy. Jordan Kuhn told us he split the race in thirds. It seems like he had it a bit different. So what was the game plan here for this pit stop strategy we saw tonight?
Well, I just wanted to run the first one dry all the way. So then in case there's a caution or something. And I like to run it long, so I like to play offense instead of defense at the end of these things. And I could have went like 10 more laps on the second step, but I knew if I waited like 10 more laps, there's no way I was going to catch him. So I tried to time it right, and I timed it off by 1 lap. So just a timing thing. I just have to go back and try to learn from it, and he had the right strategy. You'd really want to split up into thirds, but I don't like following whatever everybody else does. So just more I want to play offense and attack.
And putting the offense on the night, well, still a powerful run here in second at Iowa. And the next race on the schedule, it's going to be Chicagoland for 134 laps back to the intermediates. How's it going to be for you heading back to them 1.5 milers?
Well, I feel like I'm pretty decent at mile and a halves. So it's just going to be Chicagoland, just keeping your right rear and right front on it. It's a mile and a half, so everybody can be up front. So you got to you kind of have to control tire wear to track position. Excuse me, I've been dealing with a cold, so bear with me now. But yeah, it's just gonna be track position and trying to keep the tires on it. So just kind of playing your cards, putting yourself in the right position.
And all about the tires here at Iowa, and hoping to see another strong run as Lane Graves gets it done second here at Iowa Indy. Now, any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
I just want to thank Brian and Davis. They weren't racing tonight, but they're always supporting, and B3 Designs for allowing me to get on and making me paint schemes. So if you need a paint scheme, go to B3 Designs. He makes pretty good paint schemes and pretty quick. Just thank everybody in here. We only had 14 guys, but 14 guys made it a good and enjoyable race. So just everybody racing clean, everybody working together. So and you for broadcasting, appreciate that.
And there we have it. What a race it was. Entertaining throughout the night. And Lane Graves gets it done here. Podium position in second here. The AlecDaffin48 169 in Iowa. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
And there we have it. It's going to be Lane Graves on his way. Now, Dylan Basin from 14th to 3rd. We don't have any words from him for an interview tonight, but what a run that was, and a great showing yet again. Basin fastest at practice in Watkins Glen. Did not race. How about that for his debut racing this season? Position number 3. A great start to kick off the part-time run, and he gets it done in 3rd. Here in Iowa, and that will be it. Based in the 3rd, but Jordan Kuntz gets it done here in the Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck Series once again. We'll be back on Saturday night once more at Chicagoland for race number 12, and we'll be back on FTN Monday night with the Integrity Ignite Series. A great show there, and you can't miss the Clash. The round of 16 begins on Monday, and it's all about the drivers in contention for the championship prize. We'd love to see you there. We thank you all for watching tonight. I've been David Kreutz, your host for tonight's broadcast, and this has been a presentation of Stock Car Racing, the Redline Truck Series, and the AlecDaffin48 169 at Iowa. Thank you all for your viewership, and hope you have had a great night. Thank you all for watching.